Sacred and Divine Sekhmet, Spiritual Guardian of the Gateway of Sacred Healing. Please accept our deepest gratitude for your healing presence in our lives. Thank you for your guidance and inspiration, and for your love and blessings, and please accept our love and blessings in return. Hetepu. Sacred woman in the making. Sacred women reawaken. Sacred spirit, hold us near, protect us from all harm and fear beneath the stones of life. Direct our steps in the right way as we journey through this vision. Sacred spirit, surround us in your most absolute perfect light. Anoint us in your sacred purity, peace, and divine insight. Bless us, truly bless us as we share this sacred life. Teach us, sacred spirit, to be in tune with the universe. Teach us how to heal with the inner and outer elements of air, fire, water, and earth. Ancestors, help us to be in alignment with you, the source of all spiritual healing. Help us to create a beautiful mind capable of opening to spirit in every way. Strengthen us, renew us, baptize us in spirit so that we may be free of the chains of the earth. We are in need of spiritual healing. Grant us this, we pray. As we heal our spirits more and more every day, please allow us to become an instrument, a tool to inspire sacred healing in every soul we meet that is seeking spiritual union with the divine. I am a sacred woman. I am a sacred woman. I am a sacred woman. Ashe. So today, instead of a meditation, but also instead of more rigorous womb movements, we're going to do something we haven't done in a while, which is a sitting movement, intuitive movement session. And so I thought I'd play, some copyright music, and we could just enjoy ourselves this time. So I'm going to play River by Ibeyi because, I don't even know if that's how you say it. Is it Ibeyi? I don't know. I've listened to them for a very long time, and that has never even occurred to me to look them up or anything. But, yeah, I thought River was a very fitting song for the first video of sacred healing. And it's one that, really puts you in an introspective mood, puts you in a mood to connect with the ancestors, connect with ancient healing, connect with your inner self and the goals that you have. And so without further ado, we're going to just start this. Feel free to just move intuitively, as I said. For me, I'm going to be sitting, but of course for you, feel free to get up, move however your body is telling you that you can do sacred movement today.
Wash my soul, I will come to your river. Wash my soul, I will come to your river. Wash my soul again. Carry away my dead leaves. Let me baptize my soul with the to your river. I will come to your river. I will come to your river. Come to your river. Wash my soul. I will come to your river. Wash my soul. I will come to your river. Wash my soul again. Carry away my old limbs. Let me baptize my soul with the help of your waters. Sink my pains and complaints. Let the river take them. River drown them. My ego and my blame. Let me baptize my soul with the help of your waters. Those on me so ashamed. Let the river take them. River drown them. Come to your river. I will come to your river. I will come to your river. Come to your river. Wash my soul. I will come to your river. Wash my soul. I will come to your river. Wash my soul again.
Sacred healing's gateway element is fire. We're finally on to some fire elements. This is some action we've got going on here. Not that the other ones aren't action, right? But this is that quick action, right? This is why everybody burns candles as opposed to, waits for a wind bath or buries something in the earth. These things have different times, right? And fire is just that instant heat, and that's something that appeals to a lot of people. But note how thick how much we had to go through to get to this information, right? This book is dense, you guys. It's dense. And like I said, people talk shit, but when people are asking for that goddamn manual, when you are asking for that manual, you're like, oh, I don't know. I had nobody. You have Queen Afua. You have Queen Afua. She did it for you. Yes, she did it from her Kemetic perspective. Yes, she did it from, the temples of Egypt, as well as from New York, where not everybody's from, in Egypt, where not everybody's from, nor everybody connects to anymore, nor do we really have to claim anymore, because they keep opening up tombs and they keep seeing dark-skinned people painted on the walls, and it's like, oh, it's perfectly preserved except for the dark skin. No, like, it's funny because, I have Amazon Prime. I got it when I had Snap, so I got the discount, right? If you have Medi-Cal or whatever, I think you can use your Medi-Cal. I'm not even sure if you can. Don't listen to me. I know you can use your food stamps card though, and you can get half off Amazon Prime, and they've not asked me to double check on that since. You know what I'm saying? So the good news is that that you can get a discount for your Prime, and so I've had Prime for a long time because of that. And so basically, yeah, I have been looking at their documentaries and stuff for Africa. This was my point. And they casually now, right? They will casually just be like, yes, and Egypt was very much black people, and everybody who left Africa at that time was black. So yes, the people who would have been in Europe at that time would have been black. And they just say that so casually now. Like, I swear, when I was a kid, they never casually gave Africa credit for shit. It had to be proven Like now, like, now it has been proven, I guess, so they can act more casual, like, yes, no, unequivocally, I'm an anthropologist, yes. And so it's just funny to me how that narrative has changed, but that wouldn't have really been possible, let's not forget, without people like Queen, people like, who had a dedication to making sure these things were not stolen from us in history, stolen from us historically, in the sense that we weren't given credit for anything, right? And like, because I mean, there's white people who ran across things in Africa and were like, it's the lost city of Atlantis is the only explanation. Aliens, right? And so, it's through the hard work of people who did reclaim Kemetic traditions, who did travel there, who did put that energy and put it into the energy into it historically and on the physical realm, put it into energy in the spiritual realm, reviving the different gods and goddesses, showing how African a lot of the qualities of Egypt really were, especially the ones that people enjoy so much. So anyways, that it is from that perspective, but I do think that was necessary. I do think, especially for the time, but you can modernize it, right? I said Queen's journey isn't your journey. And so therefore, she has given us these amazing libations, just the concept of having libations for everything you do spiritually, pouring libations for cleaning the house, pouring libations for speaking better, or pouring libations for how you're going to walk into the world, pouring libation. She has a pouring libations like thing for everything. Like, people are always saying like, I don't know what to say, but I'm like, yo, somebody out here already did this. She already did the work. It's 400 pages long. you know Somebody did this. They already did it, and they wrote it over and over and over again. That's why the book is so dense. Is she really did write it over and over and over again, so that hopefully you would get the concept that indeed you could be doing each of these things for every single thing. You can have a baptism bowl for every single one. In fact, if you have nothing else, you can have a bowl with some water in it and do yourself a little baptism for every single one. So that's what we're going to get started on today. She says, sacred healing helps you release the notion that someone other than yourself is going to heal you. Once you go through the gateway, you gain the confidence and the knowledge to heal thyself and your family in body, mind, and spirit, right? Those are the people you should be healing. You should be laying hands on yourself. You should be laying hands on your spouse, partner, and you should be laying hands on your children. And if you have an extended family living in your home who's comfortable and all that stuff, and you guys have that kind of relationship that's going on, then I mean that too. But it should be, your house is really your foundation. Your family, the people you're building with, that's really your foundation. And yes, there is a slight extent to that, for a lot of other people, but basically, and they, I mean, I'm just saying like that by that I mean like family, actual, family or highly close friends who you also do work for. But for a lot of people, that's really rare. I know for me, extended family, that's really rare. I have like one friend that I feel super comfortable or confident would be calling me up for stuff, just because it's like, you don't know people right around you, or it's hard to find people to trust, or you know what I mean. It gets hard, out there. And so that's, really what this type of thing is about, is also building up that community of people who are actively looking to build together and be a sort of family. And hopefully, as the African Renaissance continues and we all continue to reclaim ourselves culturally in this way and spiritually, we'll start to be able to have spiritual centers that are able to help each other and build that close-knit family that we once tried, and we're able to, in a lot of ways, build within the Christian context. But now we're trying to, extract ourselves from the Christianity of it and put ourselves back into our own religions and utilize those as ways to reclaim ourselves right now and get power right now. And so, yeah, anyways, that's a whole nother story, though. We can't go too far. All right, so the sacred healing guardian Sekhmet calls us into the fires of transformation by activating and unleashing our innate healing powers. So this is kind of a rebirth right? We're trying to rebirth ourselves into the healer that we're trying to be. And this is a journey that happens many times, right? A phoenix does not rebirth once. It rebirths many times. It, comes up from the ashes, right? Or maybe, I don't know if that's just, I mean, it is a myth, right? The bird. So that's what I've always heard, though, is that, it comes up many times, and that means that it's going to be cyclical in nature. You're going to rise and you're going to fall, and you're going to come back again and again and see the same information with new eyes, right? Whenever you learn something new, you're going to come back and you're going to be like, oh, and now I can apply that in such another way. So that's another reason why I too love going through this book so often, is because it's every time I learn something from another text or context, or elder or conversation, just basic conversation with people, then I can come back and I can be like, oh, and that's another way to be doing this another way. All right, so through the use of hands-on healing, elemental forces, and the intuitive arts, sacred healing teaches us how to purify, elevate, and transform in body, mind, and spirit. This gateway will eliminate blockages such as those leading to anemia, inflammation, fatigue, circulatory problems, overall physical debilitation, fevers, high blood pressure, premature aging, and cancer. Spiritual exercises of ascension are to be performed daily for the in those 7-day increments, the number of the spirits. This will awaken your inner gateways of divinity so that you may blossom into your full sacred center. For your spiritual baths, frankincense and myrrh are the essential oils of divine oneness, of inspiration, and divine wisdom. Inter spirit, remember, they eliminate confusion and depression, helping to balance out emotions, helping one to open up to others and to have a calming, soothing effect. 4 to 6 drops of either in your bath water, or whatever, however, form you have either of those in. So your altar should be set up according to your spiritual religious context. Remember, we have the mojo bag that was in I want to say video 2 from the beginning of this year. We went over the mojo bag part. There was like a 2-part video at the beginning for that. And so that's the mojo bag was supposed to be our womb altar. But if you have space for a whole huge womb altar, then obviously you can do that as well. We have, let's see, you should be putting a little bit of frankincense and myrrh in your baptism bowl, or it can just be plain water with, something else in it, whatever it is that you have. Don't feel like you need to break the bank to get stuff. Remember, we use what we have, and we don't, unless of course you have the money and you're building your, cabinet or whatever, in that unique case, then yes. But otherwise, use what you have, use what oils you have, talk to your oils and see which one, will be the best for the use that you have right now. And just, take note and get ready to build, this should be years in the making, right? Years in the making. So anoint with frankincense and myrrh. Select only pure essential oils that can be used on the skin, right? You have to be careful with that. And you can anoint your crown, forehead, the body, temple, gateway of supreme spirituality, heart, the body, temple, gateway of compassion and divine love, womb area, palms to help you use your hands to make everything you touch become more sacred, and the bottoms of your feet to spiritually align yourself to step out in power, promise, and faith. To invoke each gateway's spiritual guardian, you'll just, then we'll also be praying, is the other part here, is it urges you, she urges you to utilize your mojo bag, either be holding it, talking into it. You can anoint it with oils. You can pin things to it as the year goes on. I'm trying to think of other ways to, you really interact with it. I haven't pulled it mine out on camera in I want to say 2 months. I haven't even noticed. I was just thinking about that just now. But I'll be trying to do that ASAP, so that we can really, we can really connect with that. And you can see what I've added to mine as this year has gone on, because, mine hasn't been totally abandoned. It has a few things on it there. And so, and then, yeah, we can just share on that, and you can really see what I mean by, working the bag, and, we can do that together. So yeah, but make sure you are talking to your ancestors, talking to them about, healing, talking to them about, your genuine feelings about connecting, whether that be with nature. You're trying to connect with nature more to be more of a healer, trying to connect with your emotions more, your family more, your, reconciling with your past, healing, your emotions towards somebody that's perhaps holding you back. For me, this gateway was very difficult. Not just this gateway though, it was in conjunction with, the relationship, gateway, and that was difficult for me because I was having a struggle relationship with my birth mother, and, I was really just struggling to forgive in that context too. And so, it was something I hadn't even noticed, and it was something that Queen actually called out on in me, and I was able to work on that, and really, focus on that at the beginning of my journey. You know what I mean? Or at the time, it didn't feel like the beginning, but, now I can look back and be like, oh, that was like way at the beginning of, when I started stuff. All right, so I'm afraid we're gonna skip fire breathing, but don't forget to practice your fire breathing. I have to skip fire breathing right now because I'm just not well. But right, the fire breathing, you're in and your stomach comes out, you breathe out, your stomach goes in. And let's see, where does she say a number? Yeah, she doesn't say how much we're supposed to be doing here. I'm gonna guess we're at like 800 or 900, but if you're new, always start at like 100 to 200 and work your way up. And if you're lightheaded at 50, stop, and just, that means you just need to practice more, you know what I mean? She says, allow each deep fire breath to represent the opening of the 1,000 lotus petals of illumination and radiance to reach Neferatum, the ultimate African lotus station of divinity. There's also urgency to practice meditating, right? We're supposed to be waking up at 4 in the morning, and utilizing some of that time for a little bit of spiritual activity to start the day, right? So if you're going through this as a very serious spiritual journey, I would suggest spending, an hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. Who knows? Who knows what your schedule is like in the morning personally. But, spending that time, 30 minutes to the 2 hours of writing in your journal, meditating, taking a spiritual bath, spending time at the altar, pouring libations, just praying and talking with the ancestors at the altar. These are just little examples. She says here for your meditation, you can be holding an amethyst, visualizing a violet flame, breathing through the entrance of your body, your feet, all the way up to your crown, in counts of 4, purging the impurities. Cooled, have a cooling breath by exhaling all the way out through your mouth, or nose to the counts of 7. Repeat this 7 times. You can be visualizing the color red, fire, for vitality, health, and power, but avoid red or limit its use if you're hypersensitive. You can wear vitalizing shades of red or violet, and have this on your altar as well, or tie this type of cloth around your mojo bag if you have it. And so I think, the color here is this very vibrant, rich reds or purples for this healing. And I really like that she does note that what you wear can also have a healing, holistic effect on your healing and on what you're doing. And I think, taking that special care in what you're wearing can also affect, the sacredness of the situation. So a lot of times I see people, and they're thinking to themselves like, oh, how would I um like infuse spirituality into such and such a job? But I do think, one of the first steps would be dress, and being comfortable enough to dress in that vibrancy, being comfortable enough to dress unapologetically in yourself, and also being able to calibrate for whatever situation you're in, so that you're still appropriate, or you're still within reason or respectful, but still, utilizing dress and color to your advantage. In that way is a very much a spiritual aspect of it. So we have, sorry, let's see. She also mentions bloodstone is a very good healing stone to hold in your palm or over the center of your body. Vibrational healing can be done by adorning your body with stones as necklace, waist beads, or a belt. Place them under your pillow when you sleep or at the four corners of your bed. May also put your stone in the bathwater as well as soak it in your drink to fill your system with stone healing. Make sure it's a stone that's not going to dissolve into your drink and poison you. Just saying. But there is, obviously that crystal healing, and I'm sure you've seen it. There used to be a black woman who did it, and I cannot for the life of me find her, but hers were awesome. She had these like really cool, and it was like a full stick. And now all I can seem to see is this white lady who sells these ones with all the broken gem looking pieces inside. And it's like, it's the same, but it's a little different. It definitely looks different. The sister who sold them back in like 2011, 2012, hers were like beautiful. I don't know. I cannot find her stuff though for the life of me. It's like, what's the point of taking all those screenshots that get uploaded to Google photos, and then I can't find anything that I want when I want it. So anyways, but that's basically the same concept. You can do the make it yourself type of thing and put a stone and have it so give its specific vibrational healing to the water. Speak over the water as well. Just talking over your water doesn't even have to have a stone. You can just speak over your water and drink it. Say a prayer for yourself for the day. Just speak wellness over your day and into your water, and then drink that water, or pray into it and go outside and pour the libations. There are a lot of different ways. So let's see here. The herbal tonics, ginger herbal tea. Ginger helps to quicken the healing spirit in a woman so that she is equipped to purge and heal others. I skipped a part here though that said fresh root, fresh. So like I guess it will make a little bit of a difference probably in flavor. But I mean, like, I can't imagine you could make a tea out of like a powdered ginger, right? I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe that will work out. I don't know. But yes, you can make, I do know that there's like also some ginger teas, but ginger definitely does, jumpstart the metabolism, and I think it helps with hunger. So it might be good if you're somebody who's struggling with like a fast and you're just trying to do a liquid fast. But keep in mind, if you're doing like a water type of fast, like or like a dry fast, or like a you don't want to jumpstart your metabolism type of fast, like ginger will do that to you. So it quickens the healing spirit in a woman so she's equipped to purge and heal others. Drink your herb tea or tonic for 7 days to receive the full benefits of tuning in to Gateway 6. Enjoy your herb tea in your favorite mug during or after spiritual writing. Okay. 1 tea bag to 1 cup of water, boil in a non-metallic pot, turn off the flame. The non-metallic pot, I think, if you use the ceramic pots, it starts to retain flavors, and that's like a customary thing. So it's a very wonderful thing too if you're looking for a healing tool for your household, a teapot. You know what I mean? Like there's the cauldron, it's a wonderful thing. There's your skillets, it's a wonderful thing. The teapot is another one to invest in, care for, even if it's just like glass or something, so it's not gonna absorb like a ceramic pot would. It's still, something that you would be working your healing motions over, washing, keeping clean, presenting, keeping beautiful for, company to see, etc., and use. And it's used, to hold all that healing inside of itself symbolically as well. So it's a very wonderful healing tool. Flower essences, she recommends. There's self heal, which is for contacting true inner healing capacities, courage to ignite self responsibility in the healing process, especially to encourage the belief that one can be healed. Love Lies Bleeding is to allow and understand intense and deep feelings of suffering. The Shasta Daisy is for the ability to think holistically and to integrate different therapeutic approaches. Pink Yarrow helps suppress hypersensitive to the healing process, adverse reactions to therapeutic process because feelings seem magnified. Black Eyed Susan for any form of denial during the healing process. We're on page 262. I never said that. So you should be still following the dietary practices, however it is that you're doing this, be it you're at the point where you're just somebody who's cutting back on meat to be more sustainable, which is the bare minimum. We should all be doing that. Bare minimum. We should all be doing that. We should all be not eating, or we should all be cutting down so that we're not eating dairy and meat at every meal at first, and then hopefully cut it down to just a couple days a week of eating. And that is a sustainable method of eating. If everybody in the United States ate like that, we would have a substantial less of a footprint, and that's just facts. And I saw an article the other day that was saying something like 1/5 of America causes, or something. It was like 20% of America. It causes like the majority of the footprint. Most people in America are not eating over crazy amounts of meat. But basically, yeah, if you eat red meats, if you eat them like that, like constantly, consistently, not just like once a week, but like, or even like, yeah, I guess, well, no, once a week is probably okay. But I'm not sure how much it was exactly, but they did say that the second you started eating, those meats, because it's something like, ridiculous amounts of water have to be used, ridiculous amounts of a lot of stuff has to be used. For the meat to even be made. So yeah, basically, long story short, it's not sustainable to eat a lot of meat without going too far into it. It's just not sustainable. So that's that. As people who are saying that we're nature venerators, right? That is part of our goal, is to have more of a connection with nature, not be abusing nature as much, and yeah, being sustainable and kind of leading the way in our actions as sacred women, what that means. And so you could either be going full vegan, which is very doable. You can do that and your family can be healthy, though I do suggest, if you are going to be 100% vegan, really paying attention to what vitamins your family is taking in, so that you can be assured that you guys are actually getting that full and balanced meal. Making sure that you are having that couscous and that chia seeds and the beans and the vegetables, and are getting still some starches and are still getting some fats, which is, especially your kids are getting those fats, because kids should definitely be getting a sneak of coconut oil into their food whenever you can, especially if you're vegan, right? We want to get the kids to have those healthy fats. It's super important for their growth. And so, yeah, making sure that we are very understanding of what our diets entail. We're not just taking things out, but we're putting things back in that are healthy, that are necessary, and we're making sure our meal life is still balanced. We're not hungry, we're not starving. We're supposed to be living a very, lush, secure, healing, sacred woman lifestyle. It is not about being skinny. It is not about looking a certain way. It is about actually putting the healthy nutrients in your body and living life that way. Okay, so We have the, of course, getting up at 4 a.m. We already talked about the, what am I talking about? Journaling, having a special journal and a special pen, having your womb journal, or having a grimoire, or however, spell book, however you call yours. And, it doesn't have to always be specifically like, this is about me, my healing, blah, 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 in my womb. It can be like, there's this girl that I follow on Instagram. I totally can't even think of her name, but she will post, little snippets of her grimoire, and it will be just the simplest. This is rosemary. This is, this is what a little bit about the plant scientifically. This is like a little bit about it spiritually. This is where it's typically found, or you know what I mean? She'll draw a little picture. She'll have it included on some stuff. I'm pretty sure rosemary is something that you can burn, right? You could make a rosemary and cinnamon burning twig. And I think thyme also. There are a lot of really basic food, you know what I mean, type of things that you can use for burning. And I know the bay leaves too. You can get those fresh and um, make your own burning sticks too out of those. But anyways, I really like how, she focuses on like filling hers up with decent information, so that she'll always just have a book that she can just flip through and come to know intimately, and it's full of her handwriting and her stuff. And this is something that you can pass on to your family, you know what I mean? So you're journaling, right? We always love to talk about like, oh, and then the journals of so and so, but it's like people journal less and less, and I think it is really good for your mind. It's good for your spirit. It's good to connect with what you're doing. It's good for your memory. Like if you're somebody who's like, I really want to know these things, maybe then what you're knowing isn't herbs, maybe it's tarot, you know what I mean? Maybe you're going to draw all the cards and write about all the cards, or you're going to do a reading every day with the same deck or a different deck, and you know what I mean? Like I really highly, and maybe that's a total independent journal on its own, because I have my own journal for divination purposes. Like if I'm going to, I have those charms that I made myself, like a curio set of just like literally charms, like from charm bracelets, like different ones that had different symbolic meaning for me. And I'll write down that one where each thing landed, what it means, blah blah blah. I'll write down tarot cards that I pull. So in that journal, is a really pretty little one that I inherited from my mother-in-law when she passed. So it's like you have these different journals for different things, but feel free to expand. I think my kids are just being silly in there. Feel free to expand as you come to learn, you know what I mean? As you come to sit at the altar, as you come to uh, spend that time on yourself spiritually. It doesn't have to just be like, my womb is broken and I need to fix it. You know what I mean? Your healing journey is going to be over such a wide range of things. Maybe it's just you're going to be writing lists about, what you're going to do to spiritually enhance each room of your house. Maybe it's about, going through your kitchen that day. Maybe you're going to write about what you're going to do that day and exactly list it out, exactly what your plans are, physically, spiritually, all of that for a space of your home that you're committed to making better today. You know what I mean? So I just want to encourage you to make that journaling time something that's beautiful, something that's just, let me just learn something new today, or let me just practice writing a prayer today. Let me just practice writing out to my ancestors today. You know what I mean? I want it to be something that feels like a really open moment of creativity, where you're really connecting with yourself, connecting with your spirit, connecting with your religion. So the tools for this gateway is to have a pendulum and the pendulum charts. There is a chart here in the Sacred Woman book in this chapter, and you can also find them online. Some of them are very basic, yes, no. Some people don't even use, a pendulum chart. So that will be kind of up to you as you study that and look into it. But having a pendulum, a crystal pendulum, or a pendulum that you've made out of something heavy on a string or on a chain of some sort. It can be a necklace that you wear. Then also, she mentions having tools such as oracle, such as the Metu Neter oracle. You can have Sacred Woman's prayer cards, which can be found on queenafua.com. Remember always that if you don't see something on queenafua.com, just call and Queen will be able to, whoever answers the phone. Sometimes it's Queen, sometimes not, but they'll be able to point you in the right direction to getting yourself some Sacred Woman prayer cards for each of the gateways. Then you can also get Black Angel cards. I actually don't know if those ones are still in print. I've seen them a couple times, but I'm not sure if it's actually logistical to get your hand on those ones. And that's a good one though if you're somebody who very much connects with angels over other, spiritual entities, and that's really what you're into. It's also kind of one of the original Black women decks. So if you're just somebody who likes to collect, I guess you could do that, or maybe just save it for somebody who actually will use it. Mother Peace deck is an original deck that has women of all races on it, which is why became so popular originally among all women. It just portrayed so many cultures and included Black women, and so it's became kind of a mainstay in the metaphysical community among Black women as well as many other races. So that one is cool too. I think if you are somebody who spiritually connects with so many other people, spiritually connects with like the human race, and also maybe if you're a mixed race person, that could also be a really good deck for you because it would therefore have probably two or more races that represent you as a person, which is, important. And there's also the Medicine Woman Tarot deck. So, and then we're going to go on to say that there's Dust to Onyx, which I've shown you in this group many times. Dust to Onyx has, occasional sales. I think around Juneteenth, they'll always have a sale. Juneteenth is like 19th of June. So they'll always have sales. So that just passed, unfortunately for you. But their deck is worth every penny. Like it will seem expensive, it's worth every penny. It's worth it. I really do love that deck, and it comes with the book and everything. It's really awesome. There's also the Afro Goddess Tarot deck. There's the we always do our Adinkra AdinkraLiving.com Adinkra Ancestral Guidance cards. I highly recommend this deck. So there's a lot of choices out there now. And I also have the cards. Don't forget, you have that free if you've donated $1 to patreon.com/Sacred Sister Circle. You get a deck there as well. I made a 9-card deck showcasing goddesses from across the diaspora. And so let me see, do I have any cards just sitting? Right, I showed these recently to you guys. So these are, you print them, why can't I figure out, like, how to, there. Just move my arm, then you can see. Okay, so, I have, I made some digital art, and you can print these on cardstock. I think it cost me, like, $10 to print it at my local, FedEx or something. And I think I got it sent to me, too. Like, I didn't even leave the house. I got it printed and sent. It's like it was like Santa Cruz, and we were not living downtown or anything. It was like living on the cliffs kind of, and so it was like not logistical to go anywhere with twins. So I was like, what, I'm spending the money and FedEx will ship it to me. And so I got it printed on some cardstock, and I had some plans to decorate the backs, and then I just never did. So yeah, that was me. Anyways, you can definitely go and print those out. It's very clearly labeled as like the goddess cards, and they each represent the different goddesses. When you print it out, it will come with a instructions. It comes with instructions for each of them, and it comes with 4 blank cards for you to make your own cards. So you can make it using your own type of digital art. You can just paint on it and make your own 4 special cards that go with the deck for 4 goddesses that you feel like I should have included. Or for an ancestor that's just somebody that you personally want to include in your goddess deck. So, we have a lot of options now, don't we? Don't forget to keep working on your quilt for prosperity's sake. Keep working on your quilts, y'all. I'm still working on mine. I am still applicating that girl's body. I feel like every time I finish like a section and I like move on to the next section, I'm like, this is such a big project. This is such a big project. Especially like trying, like, I feel like if I had nothing else to do, like if I didn't have school and I didn't have this and then I didn't have kids, I'd, I'd bomb straight through this thing, okay? I would bomb straight through it. I think I could do like 2 quilts a month. But as it were, I got a lot going on. I got a husband. I got, I got a house to take care of. I got a wife, blah, blah, blah. I'm also not feeling well. So it's just like things add up. And so it feels like it's taking me forever. I really wanted to be done with the first quilt by now. And I'm not even done with the body of the girl I showed you guys. I showed you. So, my girl's still naked. She don't even got no clothes on. She don't even got she bald. She don't even got a head yet. You know what I mean? Her head's not even on yet. So I got a lot to do. But I'm hoping you're a little further. And my other goal is to hopefully, if you're somebody who's just kind of like, shut up about the quilts, next year we're going to be going in on the quilts, you guys. The quilt is going to be kind of a focus because I really want, like, it just feels like such an important, beautiful part of the book, but it's so tucked in there you kind of don't even notice it. And then it's like you're so caught up on the fasting and the writing and the calling out past wrongs and forgiveness and letting shit go and going down to the river and you're releasing your pain, that the idea of just pausing and sewing is just, it feels so foreign. So anyways, I really want us to do like a set of videos each gateway doing that. So I think next year we're probably going to do something like that. So if you want to wait for that, feel free. But she says right here that the cloth serves as a mini canvas that represents your experience through the gateways, your experience either as you journey through the gateways or within each gateway in your life, symbolically focusing on each of those. Collect meaningful symbols that can be added to your shawl, such as applique, patchwork style, maybe even some charms or something beautiful like that you can sew on there and make it really beautiful. Stones, natural objects, collectibles, family heirlooms, photographs that have been reprinted onto fabric, or any other significant items that embody the essence of your experience. Give your imagination free rein and let your craftswoman spirit tell your story. For more information about this quilt, you can go back to pages 127 and 129. She talks a lot about it. All right, so let's see. She said the sacred words for this gateway are Mother or Father Divine, help me heal my sacred life. So you say, Mother Divine, help me heal my sacred life. Father Divine, help me heal my sacred life. You can also just say, Ancestors, help me heal my sacred life. Let me see. I just want to make sure we're going to the right place. Oh, that was in the right place. Okay. I did, let's see, did she talk about something else? Okay, so, real quick, I did make a note here that I wanted to talk to you guys about oil lamps, using those in replacement of candles. 1, oil lamps are safer. 2, oil lamps are cheaper. And so therefore, when you're burning them 4 days at a time, it's just cheaper. It just is. So traditionally they used, the one with the glass top, and you had the bottom that you could open, and you can put things inside of your oil lamp, which makes them really handy in that way. It's really wonderful. You also can get oil lamps that you can burn stuff in them. Let me think. You can put the herbs inside of the inside, but you can also put like petitions inside of them. what else? Like they're really good for spiritual healing in that way, especially if you're somebody who does a lot of spiritual work for your family or for others. Um, Using the oil lamp is kind of like an upgrade to your spiritual work in a sense. It's traditional, and then it's also, just a really good choice for a lot of reasons. So yeah, dressing the oil inside is like, I think, a little easier also than the candle. Plus, it can be a really strong flame. I mean, there's just like kind of a lot of reasons why I think you'll come to like oil lamps over it. Plus, if you'll remember, I did um a face jug video, and I talked a little bit about oil lamps, and I made a really tiny one, and I was like, like I needed to make the wick smaller and let the wick get wetter, and like there were a lot of things that kind of malfunctioned in the video. But if you make a decent sized face jug or oil lamp, and you proportion everything correctly, and you make sure the wick is the right size and everything, um, then you should be able to make your own oil lamp too. You can make it out of the terracotta clay like I did, and spray the outside and the inside, and make sure it's all like ready and waterproofed and shit. And you can also not, you know what I mean? You can just buy one, get an antique one that's energy really speaks to you, or you can get a new age type one. I have one that's pretty cool that's made out of like red jasperite or something. It's made out of like a stone. Like this guy will have like a glass bottom, and then he'll put a stone on top, and then the wick comes through. So anyways, there's a lot of different possibilities. So moving to page 264, she says the Sacred Woman's Creed. As a woman, I am not powerless. I am most powerful. I can determine the destiny of my body. I can heal myself. It is my birthright. It is my divine right to heal myself and my family. I think this is such a beautiful creed because it kind of speaks to the policing of the womb, as well as the policing of women and feminine and femme presenting people. So it kind of all encompasses that, in a way of reclaiming our power, in a way of reclaiming our destiny, the destiny of our bodies. Remembering that we are not, meant to just, be a spouse or to be a parent and to bear children, to do those specific roles, that indeed our lives, and our destinies have so much more, and that we are in control of them, and that we do have those choices, and those choices don't make us bad people. Let's say if we choose not to have like a ton of kids or to have any kids, or if we do choose to have children and stay at home, each of our decisions allows us to remain in power and empowered of about our choices and about our lifestyles. It's our divine right to heal ourselves, heal our families, and use our bodies how we want to. And so, yeah, that's a very unique, or not unique, but a very specific situation, I think, towards, women with wombs. But it is something that I think both sides can really feel the power of that, both people with wombs and, women. Sacred medicine women, come forth. Oh, whoops, sorry, I skipped a section. Reawaken your natural capacity to heal thyself from every affliction, for no disease is greater than you and your divinity. Use this chapter to transform yourself into the woman you know you can be by working on your self-healing daily. The more you commit, the more you understand that in order to experience true divinity, you must become divine. Know that all matters of imbalance, disarray, or turmoil can be eradicated to the degree that we purify and honor our body temples, minds, and spirits. Sacred medicine women, come forth. These women of wisdom were respected by their people. These women could see beyond the obvious, predict the future, settle disputes, find lost property, and heal the sick. That was a quote. In ancient Kemetic times, there were, and she links it to the back somewhere. I don't know what it is a quote from. In ancient Kemetic times, there were and are to the present day in all parts of Africa wise women, healers, and priestesses. Still you rise, African women of today, after all you've gone through for thousands of years. You, medicine women, wise women, healers capable of all things, still you rise to go on and heal the nation. All those channeling for sacred medicine women from the Most High. All those in tune, the bell has rung. The changing of hands is taking place. Now the righteous are taking the lead. The pure of heart, the pure of body temple are coming forward. Let it be you. The Most High said to me as I received in the Spirit, I am gathering wife as healer, mother as healer. There was a king man named Kali, whom I met at a Nubian spiritual gathering. He spoke of a back condition that had him in pain and flat out in bed. He spoke of Zabila, his dear wife, giving him healing by applying clay to his back. After 3 applications, he was pain-free, able to move once again. I asked him, are you aware that your wife is an ancient medicine woman? He replied, yes, I know. Had it not been for my wife, Zabila, my enemies would have destroyed me. This let me know that Zabila has been there patiently and lovingly healing her spouse for many a day. It's a fact that most visible healers have been men, from Imhotep to African-American surgeon Dr. Ben Carson. And then I'll also add to that Dr. Sebi, Dick Gregory. There are a lot of people who a lot of more male figures who have become very popular with food healing and spiritual healings. But isn't it the woman who maintains the health of the family? Day to day, healing comes right from the home. If the woman stays in her natural state, then sickness and disease can be prevented through the Creator's grace. Natural healing in the home through each and every healthy meal prevents the need to seek outside cures because you've not gone against the flow of divine natural laws. Affirmation. As a sacred woman, I am the original healer. I call upon my brothers and sisters, the elements, air, fire, water, and earth, to heal physically, mentally, and spiritually, for I am the great-granddaughter of Mother Nature herself. I hella like that. Especially like it because she refers to air, fire, water, and earth as like your siblings, right? As your as your intimate family. These are the elements shouldn't seem like these foreign, terrible, dangerous entities that are just so inaccessible. Right? Like I said about wind bats earlier, you can step outside and let the wind rip around you and let it cleanse you. And it should be a very intimate thing. It should be something second nature for you to give and then also take from the elements around you, because they are family and it is something you're a part of. But it is something you have to put that energy into, starting to build that connection, and so you can actually feel that way. So you can actually feel like the rain. How is it? Pocahontas says it. The river and the water are my brothers. You know what I mean? When she was walking through the river. Let's see. Healers are coming through. Women, stir that pot. Let the spirit move in you. Heal your mother, your father, your children, your friends, your coworkers too, even the strangers, the divine places that the divine places in your in your path, because you've got the power in your hands. All of us are healers, so go and do your work. Medicine women have insurmountable, unwavering power, and when it is unleashed, it can raise the dead. Medicine women heal with herbs, mud, food, air, water, and spirits. When men create unnatural laws that tell women they cannot heal themselves and their families and their loved ones, it's a spiritual travesty. It's a crime that will be judged and sentenced upon departure from this earth. Don't you try to suppress a healer coming through. When she's talking about suppressing the healer, it really makes me think, as a doula, it just really makes me think of our Black granny midwives and all the indigenous midwives and healers and medicine women who took care of their communities and then were demonized by modern medicine, ostracized, arrested, retrained by people way younger than them who had delivered like a quarter of the babies they had. You know what I mean? Like imagine being 65, having delivered 2,000 babies like on foot in the county radius of a certain miles, and then being told by like some 20-year-old white guy that like, you know, you're blaming everything on you, refusing to blame systemic racism, just like, basically, yeah, like a lot of our medicine women, especially the women, were made to look really dumb and made to be demoted from their positions of respect in the communities. Don't try to suppress a healer coming through. If you do, you'd be better look over your shoulder, for disharmony is on its way to you. What form will it take? Only the spirit knows, but there's no need to invite disease to your door. So please sit down so the healer can heal you. The healer's work has been ordained from birth, from the Creator who rules the heavens and the earth. Let it not be told that you stood in the way of human salvation, for Grandmother Earth will get upset, causing a volcano eruption or hurricane if necessary. So whatever you do, don't stand in the way of a healer coming through. I'm gonna mark that. I liked that. That was beautiful. Go ahead, Queen. We're on page 266 now. Sacred woman, when you take a stand as a healer and you heal yourself, you know you have the power and authority to heal every condition and circumstance in your life. Women, sacred and divine, when you complete this initiation process, you begin to activate your true healing self. Healer, yes, you are. Healer, your life will be glorified and you will know how to be divine. We're going to... Okay, we're going to do one, what's it, why am I saying one like that? We're going to do one thing for, I'm going to make a mark to stop. We're going to do one item of healing for this session, and then we're going to get into more hardcore healing next week, starting with the breath of the spirit, emptying meditation, the filling up, rejuvenation meditation, and healing hands. Remember, healing hands. So we're starting with breath and laying hands, and that's coming in, like, I'm doing that video tomorrow. So I'll see you guys soon. But anyway, so accessing the healing spirit through the breath is we're gonna just touch on that starting now, touching on it. Okay. We're now going to explore several approaches to healing yourself and others, and we are going to begin with breath, the source of spirit in our body temples. Then we will move on to healing with the hands, with water, with sacred stones, and through inspiration. Elders and wise people know that it's necessary to get beyond their busy schedule for a moment, to be still, to sit, to close their eyes, and to go within for meditation. Do as the wise ones do. Open in prayer and allow your mind and body to relax in total stillness. After 10 or 15 minutes of stillness or peacefulness, ask your questions. Then listen with your inner ear for answers. So that is our first step. This is a huge one, and we're keeping it simple because I feel like so many people are just like, where do I start? What do I do? And so this, I think, is such a easy beginning thing to do. It's good to go back to the basics sometimes, because sometimes we get so caught up in stuff and then we're like, I really don't even know what to do. Go back to the basics, you know what I mean? So here we're going to be still, close our eyes, go within for meditation, open up in prayer, allow our mind and body to relax in total stillness, and after 10 or 15 minutes of that stillness, ask the question that has been on your mind, or any of the questions. Maybe ask specifically about the ancestors that are connected to you. Maybe ask specifically about something that's been on your mind, something that you need help with, something that you need clarification about, that you didn't understand, that you're trying to understand more. If you are still not able to immediately access your answers, try these techniques. Drink a pint of warm water with the juice of 1 lemon. Drink that lemon water, drink that 1 whole cup of water. Even if you don't have the lemon, just drink the cup of water. And the difference between the two will be enormous. In fact, it's making me thirsty right now. I need to go drink a cup of water. Perform your fire breaths. Clear your mind, right? I think you should probably do your fire breaths before you start, especially if you're somebody who's really getting into the connection of the spirit realm. Do your 100 to 300 fire breaths. Get that slightly lightheaded, right? We shouldn't be passing out, but you should feel full of oxygen in your brain, really bringing you into that lighter space in order to connect with the spirit realm. So you can do the 1 to 300 fire breaths, or do 25 deep, slow, deep inhalations and exhalations to relax your body. So then you tune into spirit once again and become an open channel for guidance, and really allow yourself to do all this. So maybe you might want to start with drinking water and all that stuff, and then do it again in a little bit with your fire breathing, to really get yourself connected. And it could take several times before you're really able to start feeling like you're even getting messages that are answers to what you're thinking about. And that's just practice. It takes a little bit of time. Our elders knew the importance of doing the inner work. As they rocked in their rocking chairs, they pondered on the how, who, why of deep puzzling issues in life. They listened for answers from deep within. You can rest assured that as our elders rocked to and fro, the answers would flow. Our grandmothers and grandfathers knew how to listen and receive in the spirit. My grandmother would be so self-assured about what she heard that she'd tell me, "Child, don't you worry, don't you fear, listen up, don't you hear?" They were so perfectly in tune, living and rocking and humming in the spirit, that they could guide us and support us each and every step of the way. Thank you, beloved elders, for showing us the natural ways of tuning in to the spirit. All right. So we're going to get into the breathings, more meditation, and laying hands next week. Hey, so I've decided to do what am I talking about? The chop first, the chop video first out of all my videos, partially because I need a chop. And then, yeah, just so talk, because I feel like, yeah, like when you guys see the video, you see it all chopped up now because I can't go live. But in my brain, I'm like, okay, first things first, explain yourself. But yeah, I know I'm like still not feeling very well. I like went to the doctors, and my insurance is in transition right now. So yeah, there was just a bunch of shenanigans. Long story short, didn't get seen. Have to go again this Friday. It's just a mess. You know what I mean? It's just a mess, right? Like right whenever you need it to just go smooth, it never goes smooth. So, anyways, I was very devastated that my insurance didn't work out, and then also it was like I could have paid for it, but they took too long. Like that also made me so annoyed. Y'all, it was such an awful day that whole day. I called 2 companies to confirm before I showed up, and both times I showed up and something had like malfunctioned, and basically I just had to, remain in my center while some white ladies just smiled and like shrugged like, "Oh yeah, did you just waste your time and money doing this? Oh yeah, well I thought I was right. Oh yeah, well when you called I checked, I don't know." And like, so yeah, that was that. So I was just kind of like, okay, like, yeah, there really are, not much I can do. Not much I can do. Um, so I'm like, I'm looking forward to visiting the doctors, getting myself squared away. And that way, being able to keep up with the sister circle, which is a commitment that I really love, and I really, I like, I'm still very much committed to. I just, like, it will be like a days of just not feeling well, or and then sometimes it's not only physical, it's like mental, like when you have something that needs to be done, and then your brain has made it into this huge ordeal. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now, but I'm thinking this time next week I will be doing a lot better. So yeah. Here's to the doctors, and to me, catching up on all this stuff, because I know we have so much to do, and this gateway sacred healing is so chock full of good information, like the information folks want to know. You know what I mean? Like that tangible, go out and use this type of information, and that's like important. And so yeah, this is not the time I want to be slacking off. Not that I feel like I'm slacking off necessarily. I just feel like I'm like mitigating my circumstances. But anyway, I packed myself a huge chop, you guys. This is not reasonable. Can you even see this? This is not reasonable. It is way too much for one individual. And I'm probably going to embarrass myself right now. Do any of you actually smoke with me? I haven't. I know, like, on Instagram, some of you guys are like, oh, yeah, like, I smoke that. But I don't know. I've never actually seen a comment. But thankfully, I guess nobody's ever been, like, offended that I take a chop break in the middle. You know what it is we used to do, we used to do, we had little herbal stoves at the beginning. But, and I keep trying to redo that. This stuff just keeps happening in my life. You can tell that chop made me feel way better. But anyways, that's why I got my, like, tummy all out. I'm just like, don't touch my tummy. Don't have, like, my body, you know, is not feeling good to be restricted. Like, anything. I'm like, my body is just at that point where, like, the whole thing from head to toe, I'm just like, I want to be in, like, loose, comfortable, stretchy, doesn't cut me off type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Goodness. Oh, and then I wanted to, oh no, my waist beads, they're on backwards. Don't look, nobody look. Oh. I wanted to recommend these waist beads again, though. Even though I'm a mess this morning. This is from Enchanted Wastes. Enchanted Wastes. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. They're on Instagram. I've said this before, but I just wanted to say it one more time for people who really wanted, like, and this is a good one, I think, for, like, a young person. Or somebody who's, like, not used to wearing waist beads and breaks theirs all the time, you know? As funny as that might sound. Because these ones stretch. And they have, like, a fat clasp. It's, like, a really nice... Yeah, so it's Enchanted Wastes. Oh, will this even show you guys? It's backwards, but okay, I just wanted to show you guys so you could see where the underscores are. It's under Enchanted underscore Wastes underscore on Instagram. I think that you can only buy it from her through there. But I think they're just so nice. They're so comfortable, and I know she does custom orders and you know, all that good stuff. So it's really nice when you have a couple waist beads, people, right? I like also love Hathor's Love, and I think that's like the only people I buy waist beads from right now, you know. I mean, there's like other ones that are more expensive and nice, but these ones I think are really affordable and also really pretty. Like Hathor's Loves come and it smells like cinnamon and just like abundance. Her waist beads come and you open the package and it smells so good. Anyways, we're going to be done with the chop break for today, but thank you so much for letting me explain myself. And yeah, damn, I feel so much better. Right, you just saw me, I was like dying talking to you earlier at the beginning of this clip, and then now I'm just like, I'm ready. So this is why I did this video first. This is why I did this first. I know what I'm doing. All right. Hi. So our Adinkra studies is Mpata por, the pacification knot, a symbol of forgiveness and reconciliation. That's a really good one. Reconciliation. I can think of a lot of situations where that might be something someone might want to have. So pacification, forgiveness, reconciliation, all three really powerful uses for this symbol. I mean, off the top, a lot of thoughts about, you know, when you could use this, when you might carve this into your candle, draw it on a piece of paper, put it inside your oil lamp, however you're doing it. Some of the deepest betrayals committed against us are painful because we do not forgive ourselves. Forgiveness does not need to be a performance, nor does it need to be said. Reconcile your actions in this situation and move past what you cannot change. Peace of mind awaits you. So reconciliation and forgiveness can be a totally internal act. And that is very powerful to think about, especially when you're working on your inner healing self. It all goes full circle, especially like, with my situation with my birth mother, for example. um, it, I was silent with her for a little bit, which wasn't super unusual because, like I said, didn't really grow up with her like that, and only reconnected later on. Um, and so it was all really internal. It was me forgiving, letting go of what could not be changed, and as Queen said, letting go of some shit that happened, and she didn't say shit, but letting go of some shit that happened in 1998, 1991, right? Like, when you think about it that way, confronting somebody for some shit that happened in 1991, you just feel dumb. You're like, yeah, you're not gonna get a forgiveness party for I'm sorry party from somebody for some shit they did in 1991. Like, it's just not gonna happen. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. And so that's, kind of what this one feels like. This to me is, kind of when you gotta let go of the blame and step into your new reality. Do what feels good. You deserve compassion. You deserve happiness. You deserve to not be brooding over this for the rest of your life, upset. You deserve it. Again, these cards are at adinkraliving.com, and I highly recommend them. I highly recommend them. So, our what's it called? Our the Mott, 42 laws of Mott. The law today is, we are studying, it's I will not utter curses. I will not utter curses. This is such an important one, because again, we're looking at this from a moral standpoint. And in my opinion, not uttering curses is, watching your words, making sure your words are sacred, making sure your intentions are sacred, your intentions are pure. Do I think there are times you should be defending yourself? Absolutely. You should not let somebody just wreak havoc on your life, your, bloodline, because you're just so passive and turn the other cheek. And to be clear, in African traditional religions, there is no rule of three. Whatever you do comes back to you three times, or I'm not even sure how the Wiccan rule works, but I know it's Wiccan, and it's not really applicable to African traditional religions. And so, at this point, we're working as, if you're living your moral life, it shouldn't include you hexing people, cursing people, using your words to slander people or bring people down in order for you to get ahead. You should be able to remember my example of, praying a blessing on somebody who's your competition so that they get a good job across the country and you never have to see them again. You know what I mean? That's the type of thinking that your root working should have, so that you're not leading this path of destruction. Like, oh, well, because I do hoodoo, that means I'm just going to curse every person who comes in my way. Because if you're cursing all the people in your immediate vicinity, you're putting yourself in danger. And you're also, the way you're working energy is just not in balance, and it's frankly not logical. So it just, thinking of it in the terms of spreading the blessings, spreading the wellness in order to get ahead in life, I think that's a really important distinction to be made in your practice when you're doing it. Because I think a lot of people just hear hoodoo, voodoo, they see different things and conflate them all together. Or they see things and they, decide that it's inherently evil. Like, I've noticed that with, like, Santa Muerte. People see a figure, no matter how lovely dressed, they see a skeletal figure and assume this means you can kind of have a free-for-all for, evil. And it's not the case for pretty much any of these religions. You know what I mean? It's just not the case. and you're playing a dangerous game if you think it is. So, just making sure that we remain, not just because we're sacred women, but because we're following, the customs and the laws of the religions that we're entering into. That yeah, we're just not trying to actively just harm people or think that these religions are based on actively harming anybody, actively just hurting, cursing, hexing, bringing down, destroying people, to get ahead, because that's really not at all what this is about. And that is, kind of the opposite of community, which so many of these, ATRs are really fighting for right now, is that community. So that's the opposite of what we're fighting. Thank you so much for joining me for this sister circle, for this super low key sister circle. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys again real soon to put up the next video if you're somebody who's watching this in real time. If not, then, keep watching them week by week, how you've been doing. But anyways, until next time, may your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads, and I wish you the best on the beginning of your healing journey this month.